Hello, trading has closed on the 26th of March, 2024. We do our disclaimer, go over our calls, make some predictions. It's my trading plan for Wednesday, which is March 27th, 2024. Please remember, my calls can be completely wrong. Trade at your own risk. Look for the pattern with the early high, which is this. Tomorrow should have the early low. We looked for a gap opening, and we said even though this decline wasn't complete, there was a reasonable chance we gapped up before the decline resumed. And so far, that's what's happened. This is a reminder of what we said, gapping up before the correction resumes. Didn't mean it had to resume today, but didn't mean it wouldn't. Well, MEJT said this blip down wasn't going to stick, that we were going to retrace over this line, and we did. That's all we have to do to satisfy the system, and down we go. That can't be good when several days in a row you have an all-day rally and give it back here right at the end. It's particularly negative when you gap up, clear this, have a chance to leave a island reversal behind, and then throw in the towel. We've tested this lower trend line a number of times, haven't broken convincingly through it yet, and even when we do, I don't think it'll be too bad, but this could be the break. Not confirmed yet. Trying to find the end of wave blue 5. We always look at the count there. Well, we think we're in wave red 4. We made A and B, we're in C, and we want it to have a Fibonacci relationship to A and one of these lines. We came within about 3 points, less than 3. Maybe that's enough. I prefer it to be closer than that, and I prefer that we hit 51.63, but you don't always get what you want. And if we move up, I'll just say, well, that's not what I expected. It's not impossible. I'm just not certain that's over. The only question is, could this leg be over? Well, this is what we said yesterday. This is today. There is a count that says we bounce from here. Doesn't break any rules. I mean, you have your A, you have your B, you have your C, the fibs all work. Here's an ABC, C's equal to A. And futures are up. So I never know what's going to happen overnight. If we gap up and take this high out fast, you can count this ABC as being over. And if we gap over that, you could have a good rally here. That could be a completed pattern. Even though futures are up, I'm just not certain we are going to gap over that. Won't know till tomorrow. There was an analyst I subscribed to about 60 years ago named Weinstein. He would compare the action of the first hour of trading to the last hour. His idea was the first hour represented the amateurs trading before they went to work, and by the last hour, only the pros were still playing around. So here, when we gave up the ghost, he were down in the first hour, down the last hour about the same. He wouldn't count that as much of anything. Here there was a big drop, first hour, big drop in the last, a smaller drop in the last hour. He would say didn't mean much. But here there's a huge rally in the first hour, which he felt was amateurs, and a huge drop in the last hour, which he felt was the pros. And that's something he would attach importance to. He would say the pros are usually right. Now again, any move needs confirmation. I don't care how much we drop here. We take this high out early, that's a false move. But that puts quite an onus on the bulls to invalidate this negative action. Wednesday's pattern has the early low regardless of where we open. Stan Weinstein, like to take the action of the first hour of trading, today was strongly up, compare it to the action of the last hour of trading, strongly down, to help tell them where the market was going. The implication was the early action was dominated by the amateurs and the final hour dominated by the pros. And when they said different things, the pros were usually right. Now, he would take the figures over a number of days and average them. That's what he would do. But I still think the idea has validity when you analyze today's trade. You gap up, clear that trade, and then give up the ghost later on. I don't think that's good if it's maintained at the open. Now, tomorrow's open can substitute for today's close, so if we're strongly up, that idea is killed. Don't forget, futures are up as I'm writing this. But otherwise, I think today's action is bearish, should lead to lower prices regardless of where we close. I still like my 51.63, but that's all dependent on this holding. I mean, if we open up here, all is forgiven. But for right now, this is a rejection of the break higher. And only invalidating it overnight is going to make me think this isn't the real thing. So it's the pattern with the early low. Bulls have a lot to prove, which is not impossible, since there is a count. But I think it's going to be tough. If they can do it, fine, I'll believe them. But if they can't, we're going lower, and I still have big support at 51.63. It's a pattern with the early low, and that's today's call.